Welcome back to the No Judge Necessary podcast, where we got the opinions like DC, we're crazy like Gaethje, and we're as high as O'Malley. We're the podcast for fight fans that want to see fists fly and don't want to wait on the judges. I'm your host, Brick, and as always, my cornerman, Matty P. No Neil today, but we out here.
Oh yeah,
How we
man.
feeling?
I'm still coming off the high from the fights, you know.
Dude, we had some
Getting to see
bangers.
Nick Diaz throw like 300 punches in 2 rounds. How could we go wrong?
Yeah. Where do you want to start on that card? Should we start with Nick?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, everyone, he did look a little stiff in there. He didn't look aggressive, didn't have the same nick to him. But, bro, if you look at the stats, he literally threw like 230. He landed 230 punches.
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw those numbers. And I mean, it is a Diaz, so you don't expect him to not throw, but it did not seem like he was that active, and
it didn't look like he gave a shit like at all. Like he looked a lot more jacked like 6 weeks before the fight.
Yeah, it was a really weird vibe. Even the post fight was really weird. Like, yeah, he just seemed like he didn't want to be there.
I don't think I saw the post fight. What was he talking about?
It was just kind of like a whole, like, I forget exactly what he said, but he basically was something like, oh, I respect my opponent, but I don't even really know what I'm doing out here, or like if I'm really gonna do this again. He was just like, kind of just like, I don't really give a shit. Like, I don't even really know. Yeah, it was kind of the same thing as the presser. So it was weird, and I definitely think there is an aspect with him of like he got pushed back into fighting. Like, I think he was semi-happy doing his dirt biking and triathlons or whatever the fuck Nick Diaz was doing. And then sponsors and fans and everybody kind of made him do something. And I think that's the first time a Diaz brother has ever been
he was on the sidelines, though, being like, man, I'll whoop their asses, like seeing Usman, all that shit. And we were like, all right, bro, let's get you in there. And I believe you. Like, let's go.
Right.
Like, so do you think we see him back in the next year?
I have no idea.
And if so, who would you give him? Because he doesn't want like Cowboy just to fight him. He won't take that shit.
No.
That's gonna
at welterweight.
Mm-hmm.
Jorge makes some sense after Leon. If that goes through,
Jorge's a problem.
Yeah.
For that, I feel like you can't give him that.
It's got to be a name, though. I mean, Chiesa?
No.
But that's not a big enough name. That's the problem, is it's the balance between, Vicente Luque. If Vicente Luque takes another L.
I think they're talking about him fighting Nate.
Yeah. I mean, because then when you get lower, like Bilal Muhammad, Neil Magny, Jeff Neal, like, I don't think those are big enough draws to get Nick Diaz out of bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're
so
right.
I feel like it would almost have to be like Wonder Boy, maybe, if Wonder Boy kind of wants to get a bounce back type thing. But I don't know. It's one of those weird things where I almost feel like we're going to see Nick Diaz in 3 months or like 3 years. Like,
yeah, either we're going to see him. Well, I'm just looking at the welterweight rankings to see who the hell would be a good like fit.
That's what I was just looking at, and I really can't see anyone other than maybe Luque, Masvidal, or Edwards. Or, I mean, he's not going to fight Leon. That's not a big enough draw. Like, it's a big enough number, but it's not a big enough name, and they won't publicize the fight the way Diaz would want.
Yeah, man, that division's tough. That's a tough one. Because, like, what makes sense is like a Matt Brown.
Yeah, exactly. Or like
is a Matt Brown.
Or like Ponzinibbio or something like that.
Yeah,
Daniel Rodriguez, maybe even. Like that's where in the skill and the ranking probably should be, but it's Nick Diaz. He's not showing up for nothing. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's tough. What else do we have before we hop into like the main event and whatnot? Was there anything? Merab Divasquili with that knockout over Moraes.
I had Moraes inside the distance, and that played the shit out of me. I will never bet on Moraes again. I'm sorry. This is just
No,
too many in a row. He's boofed me,
no,
bro. And I
don't.
thought he was gonna have a comeback. I thought he was gonna be hanging around that top, and I'm like, bro, you had it. You had it. And I was screaming because I was gonna go up like at least a hundo. So I was going crazy. You saw me, and then I was very sad.
Yeah, that was brutal. I don't know. You know what? I'm actually going to save this guy for later because we're going to get into it later. But then Curtis Blades got the decision. Not the most convincing win, not the cleanest, like not exactly what everyone wanted.
He just confused the shit out of me because it's like, all right, you just got slept your last fight. So I'm thinking, all right, how are you going to come into this one? Probably just go into your bread and butter. Let's get this thing on the ground. Let's take him out. I'm like, he's going to come in motivated, hungry to get this finish and not try to stand up with the striker. He just did that, and it didn't end well. And then he goes 2 rounds trying to go toe-to-toe with him. And it's like, and then just getting a takedown at the end, not doing anything. And then,
I was really surprised when he did finally get him to the ground. It was very not active. Like, I thought he was going to dominate once he got to the ground.
That was the Curtis Blades that I like when he was coming up through the rankings, and I was like, holy shit.
Those elbows.
Just literally, he was relentless. And with someone like Rosenstrike, who's so like green to the ground game,
right?
What the hell is it at this elite level? You're just not going to be able to do that to them, or what the hell happened there? Because that
are they just now too big and strong?
Yeah, if you can't beat those guys on the ground dominantly like that, I mean, you got the win, yeah, but what happens when you get to a steep edge?
Yeah.
You know, like what happens?
Exactly. Or, because if you're kind of proving that you don't quite have the knockout power of the top of the division, like you better be this dominant wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, there's some killers at the top of that division. So, I mean, you better have a game plan for it. You know what I mean? And that's where it's like, is he going to be able to wrestle Ngannou? I mean, we've already seen how it goes with Ngannou, but what's the new and improved plan for Curtis Blades? Because I would like to see him get a title shot soon. Even though we've already seen what happened against Ngannou, he is putting together the wins, he probably still needs one more contender fight, but if and when he gets there, what is the new and improvement from Blades that's going to give him the chance to be a champion?
Yeah.
Is it he's going to be the most dominant wrestler in the heavyweight game?
He's going to probably go up against Ngannou. If you want that belt, you're probably going to have to beat Ngannou at some point. And he's looking better at wrestling, which is scary.
Terrifying.
So are you upgrading on those same level as he is?
Right.
If not, then it's going to be another issue when you get there.
Exactly. So it's interesting to say because I kind of think that Blades, I don't want to call him a gatekeeper yet, but it might be that he might be that like top 5 gatekeeper where it's just like, if you're not an absolute killer, like even Jorginho Rosenstrike, we just saw it, like very good heavyweight, not a killer champion type heavyweight, and he got handled by him. Like, it wasn't the cleanest fight, but like Blades is going to get the dub on those guys 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
So maybe he just kind of floats in that where it's just like, hey, you think you're the new kid on the block? Take on Blades, see if you're legit. Because I think there's only about 3 guys in the world who can consistently.
Well, you know what's not fair? Because Gon got the slip right by him.
That's true.
That ain't fair.
That's true. I mean, Cyril hasn't really taken the same highlight losses. So I think that's, especially in the heavyweight division, I think that's where you almost get some of that like one championship type hype where pieces can move quickly, up and down. So I can kind of see how that happened, but I don't know.
Well, you know what else we should get into? We can do kind of 2 fights at once here because it's the women's flyweight. It's Schevchenko versus Murphy and also Andrade versus Calvillo because that was essentially the number 1 contender fight again. And Andrade is right there.
Absolutely. 100% get the shot. She has to get the shot.
She melted Calvillo, but Schevchenko just melted Andrade. And like not that competitive. So
I know. It doesn't matter. There's no one left for Valentina. We tried the Lauren Murphy, the person on the hot streak. Jessica deserves it again. I don't care what she did in her title shot.
She wanted to come after Rose again.
Ooh.
Like she was going back to that.
She's going to get back on that division?
She didn't want – I don't think she's trying to go after Schevchenko.
Probably a good business decision.
Route is probably where she's like, oh, I already beat Rose. And that last fight got competitive toward the end. Bam, bam, bam. I see and I would take the same route.
Yeah, and honestly, it makes a lot of sense too, because even if you take that route, let's say ideally you do take that route, you do beat Rose, that's when you can then call out Schevchenko for let's go belt to belt, champ versus champ.
And it's just there's a lot going on there. She can fight all these people again. There's a lot of rematches for her, Whaley is there, Rose is there, those are all way more competitive than Schevchenko, because Schevchenko is a problem, and I don't see anybody touching her again unless she goes up and fights Amanda.
Yeah, I am not sure. It sucks because at this point, Jessica, it's crazy where, especially in these women's divisions, where it's just especially when you look at Nunes and Schevchenko, they are so far ahead of the field that it's when you look at what these women have done to get to the spot or get to the contender spot, it's they're absolutely deserving of a title shot. But it's well, they've already fought the champ and they got washed. And it's
yeah.
So do you want to see it again? But they are deserving of the shots. That's the tough thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you do next in that division. It's a tough seat. I think you try to eventually, you got to just get the Nunes. You got to get the trilogy at some point. I want to see that. I want to see it.
For sure. And
then I guess the final, the Volk Ortega, it was what we thought, it was worth the buildup, worth the tough, worth that injury. Great fight.
Absolutely.
I did think a little overrated of a fight. I've watched it back. It was a great fight. It was a great fight, but Volk pretty much whooped his ass, except for those two. It was that third round. That third round is Hall of Fame round. I think they do. And that third round made it the whole fucking thing.
You know what it honestly reminded me a lot of was Usman versus Colby Covington, and that was a little closer action, but in my opinion, Usman worked him and won probably, especially when you actually say real damage, won probably 4 out of the 5 rounds and then finished him. This was kind of a similar thing, and there was 1 or 2 rounds that were ridiculously close. But because of the hype, because of how big of a fight it was, because the fans were 50-50 on it, a lot of people gave Ortega a little more credit in the thing. But I think it was just...
Ortega could have won the 5th.
Possibly, yeah.
That's all I got. I think I could have given him either way. I think it's a 50-50 on the 5th round. But besides that, the 2 submission attempts were nasty and deep. But Volk still, look how he ended. And
that's one of those things where it's and I don't know how to really truly score this, but especially from your back, I don't give much credit in the scoring for submission attempts. It's almost
with some where it's the dude's not even in danger. But with that is it's hard to give it points you didn't give him a black eye with nose and
that's kind of what I'm saying is it's a means in which to finish the fight. That's all I really look at it as. Now, if you're on top, working from side control into half mount, into full mount, and now you got some type of guillotine or something from the top, and it's a attacking type position and you immediately got that, or maybe even it's a scramble and you got a north-south dars, I give some credit for that. But something where you're basically getting taken down and then you just try to throw up a guillotine, that doesn't score for me because it's not it's not a dominant position as far as I'm concerned. Like
To me,
it's a position you
I
can
score. If it's a deep submission attempt, I score it like a takedown.
Yeah, I can kind of see it. I think it all depends. It all depends on the position. It all depends on the positioning. If you take someone's back and then you're getting submission attempts, that counts.
Same thing with the takedown. Like if you take someone down, they get right the fuck back up, or
Right.
you take them down and they scramble into a position better. You still get a takedown, but how much does it count? But that's how it is with the submission. Like if you get a deep submission, it doesn't. It still counts the same, just like a takedown. It's kind of fucked.
Right. Hey, give me 1 sec. Sorry, the dog's going crazy here. Give me one pause. Sorry about that. We're back. But I think leading us basically into the next segment, MMA news, which we'll pretty much talk about the last fight that we wanted to. Or did you have anything else on?
I did.
Volk Ortega.
I was gonna say we obviously know what's next for Volk, but what's next for Ortega? Who does he fight next?
Let's actually take a little look into the rankings over there.
I got my idea for this one, but
what do you got?
Well, it's what I would want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I think either. Hold on, I have weird rankings, but I like Cater.
Yep.
And
that'd
I
be
like
an absolute firefight.
And I like Giga Chikanze.
Interesting. Might be a little early, but yeah, that does get me a little more excited than like another Korean Zombie fight or Arnold Allen. Like he's definitely jumping a few guys, but I wouldn't hate it. I think Cal Cater would be an absolute firefight, especially coming off what we just saw. I think Ortega would get drawn into like, let's have a war because that's what, you know,
the scary part is with Ortega is he's basically going to be in a main event most of the time, unless it's a Connor card, right? Yep. And that gives you 25 minutes of cage time with him to not get caught in a fucking submission.
That's the problem.
You could be whooping his ass on the feet, slip on a banana peel, and all of a sudden he's on your neck. And you're like, no. Exactly. So can Cater stay perfect? Because I think Cater is probably a little sharper hands-wise, maybe not. I don't know.
For sure.
But Ortega's looking pretty good. So I think I still think it's still competitive on the feet. I think Ortega hangs with most people on the feet now. Maybe not Max and Volk, but we'll see. I think Cater or Chikanze. Because if Chikanze melts Ortega bad, we know he's real. We know he's championship material, and he needs to fight for the belt. If he melts Ortega, whew.
Awesome. We actually have Nil commenting. He did hop into the chat for us. I'm going to just leave this for you to chew on for a second.
Bro, Cejudo is not fighting.
This is what Nil wanted me to say. He wants Volk versus Cejudo.
Me too. But guess what?
Yeah.
Cejudo ain't fighting. He's out of the whole. He's not even getting tested anymore.
That's what I tried to tell him. But Nil did want to get that comment in. We all know it's
but we heard. Okay, how about this? We did hear Volk talk about going up. If he doesn't he's not going to get a title shot off the rip because that's already getting scheduled. Who do you want him? They would probably give him an interim belt. Who is deserving of that interim shot against Volk, like they did with Max and Poirier a little while back?
It's whichever of the three. Which one's getting the title shot again? It's Olivera Gaethje or Olivera Poirier?
It's Olivera Poirier.
Then it's
And
Gaethje.
Gaethje and Chandler are paired.
So Benny? That doesn't make sense. You wait for the win. No. You wait for the winner of Olivera Poirier and you get the title shot. After you do the trilogy.
If Dan Hooker
if you're gonna do if you want to line
cool, it'd be perfect.
If you want to line that up, if you actually want to line that up, then you wait. How far out is the Olivera Poirier fight? That's already scheduled, right?
That's in December 11th. And Volk's trying to stay active.
I was going to say, Chandler
fights the 6th of November. So the winner of Chandler Gaethje, if no injuries, Volk might be down.
Yeah, no. I was trying to think if you can get the Holloway fight the same. You got to get it either on the same card or the card right after that, and then you have the two winners match up.
I thought of something, but
that's
a good idea. Well, yeah, definitely that too. But if Islam beats Hooker in November,
now you're getting crazy.
In November, what if he fought Islam for the like interim belt or something?
No, because you can't jump.
Revenge.
You can't.
It's revenge for Dan.
Islam. If you wanted to put a belt on that, Islam would have to go down. But I could see Islam's crazy ass going down.
Dude, he's so big for that division. Ain't no way he can go down.
I don't know. He might cut his leg off or something.
Watch. We're gonna see how big he is next to Hooker soon. So
that's true. But that's what I did want to lead into our MMA news. Dan fucking Hooker, the man of the hour.
Bro, definitely shaping up to be. I think my two favorite lightweights are him and Gaethje. And Poirier's in the mix too. I like those three. But
yeah,
when they come to battle, it's going to be hard to pick. Like when Hooker and Poirier fought, I was just like, I don't even know who to vote for at this point. Like,
yeah, the one that's going to be tough for me is the Hooker Gaethje. I think I still have to be Team Hooker, but I do love Justin
on that one. Because Gaethje, I was leaning against with the Poirier fight too, so I think Gaethje might be my favorite in that division, to be honest.
Yeah, I did love Gaethje,
wild
but
son of a bitch, bro. I just like to see him.
Loose. And I just love Hooker. Like inside the ring, outside the ring, like he's hilarious. He's active.
Yeah. Outside the ring, Hooker might be I think Hooker's my favorite.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, watching Gaethje fight is the most beautiful car crash I've ever seen. Like, it's almost like one of those like 90s movies where they got like beautiful classical music while like everyone's getting murdered. Like that's a Gaethje fight, and that's what you got to love it for him.
Yeah, and at first I thought Gaethje was just reckless, and I realized over time, like, nah, he's setting all this shit up. Like, this is all
it's insane too, and that's why it's almost like on that like Reservoir Dog shit where like all chaos is going on, and you think he's out of his mind, but he's slipping everything, and everything is so calculated while going 1,000 miles a minute. You know what I mean? It's like a race car driver or something that you're like, well, clearly you're going 200 miles an hour. You have no idea what you're doing. And they're just sitting there. No problem. But
I'm going to be going big for him against Chandler. I'm sorry. Like that. I'm just going to.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It sucks because, like, I don't want to hate Mike Chandler. I really don't. But, like, it's just.
Fighting people.
That's the thing is within this division and just like what I've been kind of conditioned to know as a UFC fan and everything, like I just am supposed to not like this guy. Like it just.
Well, he came in and sparked Hooker, which I'm a huge Hooker fan. So I was like, fuck.
No.
It made me still respect him and like I already liked him from Bellator. So I was already like,
right.
That's pretty. I mean, that's impressive. You did that, and then when he fought Olivera, I was like, "Nah, bro. I didn't want him to win because I just didn't want the dude from Bellator to just come and just
immediately." It's like take your turn, take your time.
But and the main reason why it was because Pitbull would take credit and then say he's UFC. It was just this whole thing, And so I didn't want that to happen. So and Charles put in the time. So I was like, it was due.
That's pretty much like where I stood, where like I actually kind of liked him in Bellator because I can't stand fucking Pitbull's dumbass. That guy pissed me off.
I know that's the thing.
I
love the Pitbull bros, but I don't like how they keep saying he could scrape Holloway because Holloway's like my favorite. So that the fact
Pitbull runs his mouth like a chihuahua, and it fucking annoys me. So I was happy when Chandler beat him, at least the second time. And that's where I'm like, I shouldn't like hate this guy. I can't like him. It is what it is.
Well, now you fight Gaethje, and this is the third fight now in the UFC, and I can't go against you. Like Hooker, I'm going to go against you. Gaethje, I'm going to go against you. And then Olivera, I had to just for that reason. So it's like 3 in a row I'm going against you here, but I still like you. Like there's no hard feelings here.
Hey, not to interrupt, but let's fucking go. The Red Sox just hit back-to-back home runs. It's now 4-0. They're in a huge wild card race. We fucking needed that.
Let's get it. Aren't there another announcement? Oh, there's something about O'Malley. I don't know what that'll happen.
So this is a weird and an updating situation that we have to go through. So I may have our dates wrong, but I believe it was on Wednesday night. All the top sources, like the Marcel Dorfs, everybody, reported Julian Paiva versus Sean O'Malley for the December 11th card. I mean, me and Nil literally screenshotted to each other and we're like, yo, you trying to hit Vegas? Like, still might be trying to hit Vegas in December. But then apparently, which I didn't see it, but I saw it all over Twitter, apparently O'Malley on his live stream was like, yo, that shit's capped. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. That's bullshit. So it's O'Malley. Who the fuck knows?
Is O'Malley trying to just cause like a ruckus about the fight for more like
more hype? Did he want a better opponent? I don't know because like I mean Julian Paiva is solid, but it's not like a massive
every time
name.
He gets a fight, it's some shit like this. I feel like, and it's starting to piss me off. But he was calling out Cruz. He was trying. I'm not blaming him. It's not really at all. I think they did offer him Frankie Edgar or something though, and I don't know.
I heard about that, but I think it was kind of a short notice type thing or something weird.
Yeah, and that's the biggest fight out of nowhere. You can't expect someone to just take that. But
and I think, and honestly,
top 15.
I don't think so. What was that? Feather? Would that be bantamweight? Or is he fly?
I'm looking in the wrong division. I was over here in featherweight.
Yeah. So I mean, Julian Paiva is number 15. He's unranked. Cheeto Vera is at 13, who beat him. Like, the fight makes a lot of sense. Now, the master marketer, which I actually think he's smarter than people give credit to, like, maybe he's just doing that whole shit where he called out bigger fights. You know, they gave him this fight. He probably thinks he should get someone bigger. He's going to say, nah, that was bullshit or whatever, and then, like, probably just end up fighting them. Or maybe step in.
Pavia just beat Kyler Phillips.
Mm-hmm. No, Julian's legit. And this division's nasty.
That's a danger. I'm excited for that fight. It'll show. I mean,
me and Nil were immediately like, let's be in there for that. Like, that's a fucking sick fight. I just am very confused of what's going on with that. But it's O'Malley. Updates to come. We'll see on that situation. And then I think you said a couple of people got cut.
Yeah, we had a couple cuts. I think it was hold on.
Who we got?
One was Almeida. Almeida got cut after a 4-fight losing streak, and then I think Mike Rodriguez. I want to be correct here.
Slow Mike Rodriguez.
I don't know. I'm not sure which one.
You're not sure which one? Yeah. One of the Rodriguez's. And yeah, I mean, Almeida had a lot of hype behind him. Wasn't active, and when he finally got fights, he kind of got work. So,
yeah. But it is what it is. I just got – this is a new one 50 minutes ago, actually.
Breaking news.
Thug Nasty got cleared, so he's trying to get a January return.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He's is he flyweight still or
featherweight?
Featherweight.
If he gets deep in there, that's going to be a problem for some people. But he's got to get that striking up because if he starts getting in there with Barbosas and shit.
That's the thing is if they're going to immediately give him something up, which coming off an injury, like the hype he had, I thought he was definitely getting in a top 10 fight. But after coming off the injury, I don't know if they'll kind of, I mean, even behind him, Sadiq Youssef, Masvar Evalayev, Shane Burgos, like those aren't bad fights if they take – that's a step back.
All hard as fuck.
That's what I'm saying. And then
looking for division is like walking through like some thick mud.
Bro, the next five – I mean, look at the next five. Edson Barbosa, Danny Ige, Giga Chikadase, Josh Emmett, and Arnold Allen. I want to see – that's the fight I eventually want to see is Arnold Allen, Bryce Mitchell.
That would be
amazing. Is going to be an incredible fight.
Delight.
Yeah, I kind of hope maybe we wait for both of them to be a little closer to the top. But I mean, number 6 versus number 11, like we've seen crazier. That's the fight I want to see purely matchup wise. But interesting. I definitely want to see Thug Nasty get back in that mix. But like you said, it's like he probably has better grappling than damn near anyone in this division, but he doesn't have close to the hands of anyone in this division. So
yeah, not that division the hands level gets wild. So
problem.
And so does the grappling with Ortega. Like,
oh yeah, when you get to the top of the top.
And also, sure. I guess the final news update would just be Aspen Ladd is out of the fight. She had a scary weigh-in thing.
Yeah, that was tough. She apparently initially weighed in at 137 and then passed out on the scale. It was kind of a scary video. If you want to, go look it up on Twitter. I watched it once, did not want to watch it again kind of thing. It was pretty scary.
Yeah, it's never fun to see people like that.
And it sucks because I was really excited for that fight. Aspen Ladd made some case on. That was going to be one of those, like, sneaky, not a lot of people paying attention to it, but it is on the main card. And the winner of that would have gotten very much projected into that division. So I hope that's one that's not a major injury. It was just kind of a weight cut camp type thing or whatnot. I don't really know.
Is this a problem for her or is she?
I'm not sure. Let me see if Aspen Ladd's had any other canceled bouts. Let's see. And maybe. Her last 4 fights have been canceled. I don't know why. It doesn't give details.
Shit.
Okay, Macy Chiasson got hurt in July when this fight was first supposed to happen. And that's what it was. Aspen Ladd's coming off a torn ACL. She tore her ACL in June. That's why we're remembering her having problems with it. So that's tough. I can see how coming off a torn ACL, trying to get back into it, originally having a scheduled fight, and trying to I could see how a camp could kind of be off for that.
Yeah, I mean, and this is 135, so she's got to go. Bro, I mean, eventually, if worst case, just go up, bro. There's nobody in that division. You can just
that's what I think. Like, it sucks because I think everyone's too scared of what
the same level. It's like if you're in Super Mario right now, you have to fight like 10 levels, or you can just fight like 3 and just still fight Bowser at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, why not? And then not have to cut weight. I would be doing that if I was the girls all day.
Right. And even if you want to, you could always cut back down to 35.
Exactly.
When you get to the top 5.
You're right in the mix.
Because if you're in the top 5 at 45, they'll immediately give you a top 5 fight in 35.
I feel like I would be all over that. I'd be like, oh, if I was already weighing 135, in the mix here, I'd be like, okay,
The only problem though is there's some
3 people in that division. Okay.
Yeah, but all of them are massive and killers, so that's the problem when you get up there. But
yeah, that's big boss battles, but still, it's better than working your way up through the
35 is a
50 girls.
yeah, 35 is an absolute mess. But Anything else before we get into these pre-fight diaries?
Nope, I think I'm good. I think we're all good on news.
All right, perfect. And because we're a real-ass podcast with y'all, and we always want to be honest, we ain't got really shit on the first 3 fights. When me and Manny P were doing a little bit of prep for the first 3 fights, so we had an idea. We think the first 3 are coin tosses. So we're going to have Matty P toss a coin. So first fight, we got Alejandro Perez taking on Johnny Eduardo. Alejandro Perez will be heads. Johnny Eduardo is tails.
And I always got to say this first. I flip it, I'm going to catch it, and then turn it and smack it. That's just the rule for me. I don't know why.
That's how I always do it, but thank you for clarifying.
All right. We got heads.
We got heads. That's a win for Alejandro Perez, which let's see if we can get some quick odds on the Barstool Sportsbook. Hold on here. Sorry.
Oh, wow. Big favorite.
Big favorite? What do you got for a line?
Sportsbook says he's a -240.
The coin doesn't lie.
All right. I like that start. This is another toss-up.
Next fight, we got Shayna Young out of the U.S., 7-3, taking on Stephanie Edgar, 5-2 out of Switzerland. We will go with Shayna Young as heads, Edgar as tails.
Oh, that was a horrible flip. Oh, we got heads once again.
Heads once again. That's getting Shayna Young at plus 105. Little juice and pretty much coin flip odds.
Nice.
And our third and last coin flip fight, we got Douglas Andrade out of Brazil, 26-4, taking on Vitalio Parillo out of, I believe, Belgium, 15-6-1. We are going to go with Andrade as the heads.
All right. Oh, and 3 in a row with the heads.
And the favorite takes it -250 on Silva. So
bro, I'm taking
just curious. I was just gonna say, what is that on the Barstool Sportsbook? That parlay would pay out plus 307.
Yep.
I love that to start the night.
I'm definitely putting a little juice on that. You have to,
right?
That may be a new thing that if that hits, we may have to do that weekly.
Yeah, I actually kind of like that. So we'll keep it.
Let's just pick 3 coin flip fights.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be the first 3. We could probably work that in. I like that. That could be a segment. But let's slow it down a little bit. We got this is a solid card. Pretty much top to bottom, but first 3, we had to kind of get into it. Here we go. Jamie Mullarkey, 13-4 out of Australia, taking on Devonte Smith, 11-2 out of the U.S. A couple of 155ers. Yeah.
This is a
Jamie Mullarkey.
Dude, I think I could just call this fight exactly how it's going to go for some reason. Probably going to be completely wrong. But Devonte Smith is going to just like completely whoop his ass the first round. Just like damn near knock him out. And if Mullarkey survives, which he damn near will, because he's just like a tough, like Australian dude.
Yep.
And then in the second or third, he'll come back and like win. I don't know if it'll be a decision or a finish, but it'll be damn near a finish.
It's funny. That's exactly how I see it. Like, I think Devonte is going to spark him in the first round. And everyone's going to think, all the fans will think that's the beginning of the end, but Jamie Mullarkey will think it's just the beginning, you know? And once he's taken his best shot, I think that's where he then is just like, all right, let's fucking dance, probably get some of the wrestling in. I think Devonte Smith has more strength and power in this matchup, but I think Mullarkey's a little cleaner, and that's where I think later in the fight, his cardio and technical ability is going to really show. So
yeah, I like the fight not going the distance.
Interesting. Let me see what they got for that on odds. This is Not a pick 'em, but Smith coming in at minus 155, Jamie Mullarkey plus 125. Love that little bit of juice on him. Not to go the distance is minus 200. Big favorite.
I'm going to mute myself real quick.
No worries. But, so yeah, not to go the distance on that, minus 200. Under 1.5 rounds. Over 1.5 rounds would be minus 162. It's kind of a favorite, but I do think it's going to get deeper into the fight. So, something to look into. Next fight, we got Karol Rosa, 14-3, taking on Bethe Correia. Two Brazilians going at it at 135.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an OG lesson here. I think Correia have to just, let her know. Let her know it's not her time yet. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm always wrong with these. So
this is such a tough. Yeah, this is such a tough fight, and I know we're supposed to be like the analysts and give you picks and shit, but like this is such the fight that like I feel like either way that it goes, when I finally see someone's hand raised, I'm like, oh, that makes sense, and they're a real contender now, But I can make that argument for either.
Real contender coming off this.
I think not in like number one contender, but I think they're getting probably a top 5 fight after this.
Yeah.
Like a fight away from being a fight away kind of thing.
Yeah, I could see it. But
Which way are you
I
leaning?
think Correia's just been in the mix. She's fought, everybody. She may not have won, but.
So you're leaning Bethe Correia.
Yeah, on something where it's just so unknown, I'm going to go with the one thing that's kind of consistent here. And I've just seen her more times. I know what she's going to bring.
How does it make you feel that she is a plus 400 underdog? Karol Rosa is minus 590. I think that's absurd.
Who the hell is she fought?
Let's do a little dive deep. I know she's been on a 5-fight win streak, but against kind of no one. Jocelyn Edwards, Vanessa Mello, that's a decent win. Laura Procopio, which was a split decision. And that's it. That's all she's fought in the UFC.
That's foul.
That's fucked. I'm cutting now on the Bethe Correia train with you. Like, I was sort of off her a bit. Like, I didn't think she was, like, a real title contender. But that don't mean she's not a good fighter. And that is just utterly disrespectful.
This is like that old, like, Cerrone versus, that guy who they're just like, oh, this guy's going to wash him. And then
right. And now,
oh, hold on. There's levels.
And that's the problem is, like, it's probably Vegas looking at it, where she is 2-4 in her last 6. I get it. But the people she's lost to, Ronda Rousey, heard of her? Rocky Pennington, Holly Holm, Irene Aldana, and Penny Kanziad, with some sprinkled in wins against Sijara Eubanks, Jessica Ai, and Shayna Baszler.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is ridiculous to me. The odds,
she's fought the entire top 5.
The odds should be a motherfucking coin flip to me.
That's what I'm saying. So if you're giving me plus 400 on what should be like, if you told me that Karol Rosa was a minus 155, if you wanted to push it to minus 200 because of the bad run of form,
I wouldn't look. I wouldn't touch it. I'd be like, okay, you're right.
I'd be like, okay, fine. I'm probably out on this fight. Plus 400 is bloody disrespectful.
This isn't Schevchenko fighting. This is ridiculous. This isn't a Nunes fight.
Right. I understand why Bethe Correia was the underdog against fucking Ronda Rousey. But that ain't it. That ain't it. Not someone who's had literally 3 fights in the UFC. Like,
we just convinced everybody to put the house on this. We're riding.
I think so. I mean, I hate to say it, but like, you're telling me one person has had 3 fights in the UFC, the other has fought more than 3 champions. Who you got?
Yeah.
That's it. Next fight, another very interesting one. Antonina Schevchenko, 9-3, out of Kyrgyzstan, I believe, taking on Casey O'Neill, who is from Scotland, formerly fought in Thailand, now fighting in Vegas, and part of the CKB boys and girls. This is going to be a banger.
Who's part of
Casey? So Casey O'Neill, which this is why this fight is all-time awesome. Casey O'Neill started out at Tiger Muay Thai, where Antonina and her sister also trained. So they were training partners not too long ago, like within probably 3-4 years ago. Then Casey O'Neill kind of was getting a little bit linked up with the CKB boys a little bit because they go in and out of Tiger doing their training and everything. So as she was getting linked up with the UFC, doing a little bit of training with them, once all the COVID stuff was starting to happen, Thailand got really sketchy. So she came out to Vegas, and she's now training at Frank Hickman's new gym in Vegas. And Frank will be in her corner. So, and she's had a hot start to her UFC career. Absolutely dominant performances. I'm all in on Casey O'Neill. I will say this specific matchup does scare me because this is a very talented and experienced fighter. Even though it's only 9-3, you see that last name.
Bro, and the thing is, I think that O'Neill should win, but I swear I am wrong on every Antonia. Oh, I don't know how to say her name.
Antonina. Yeah.
I always say it wrong. Antonina, I'm always wrong. Whenever I pick her for a fight, I am wrong, dude.
Yeah. She's a tough one to pick on because she's not quite 50-50, but like she will lose some fights, but she also will win some fights that you probably don't see coming. So
yeah, so I will not be betting this, but I would assume O'Neill's winning. I would put my money on O'Neill, but I'm not going to put.
I'm surprised how big of the favorite Casey O'Neill is. -230. I would have thought it been a little closer, but as much as I like her, I kind of do see where that juice comes. Next fight, we got Joe Solecki, 11-2, taking on Jared Gordon, 17-4. What do you got on this? 2 American 155ers.
I gotta remember who Jared Gordon has fought last. I feel like he's fought a lot of guys I don't remember.
Yeah, Danny Chavez and Chris Fishgold were the recent ones. The one you probably remember him was when he lost to Charles Olivera on the uppercut.
Mm-hmm.
And he was obviously the big part of the embedded series when they were on Fight Island. And
I remember that.
Thought that he gave Dana White COVID and all that fun, good stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, and Joe Solecki, he's fought dudes. He's a winner, dude. The guy wins. He's beaten Jim Miller, which was impressive. Anyone who beats Jim Miller is
Austin Hubbard.
You're top 15 ready. If you beat Jim Miller to me, you're ready for the top 15.
Yeah,
I see it.
I'm big in on Joe Solecki. I mean, like you said, beat Jim Miller and choked out Austin Hubbard, who was supposed to be this big-time Big Ten wrestler. Like, no one fought with him on the ground.
Hubbard has been looking good, I think, since, right?
I believe
he lost to Vince Pichot and
yeah, but he beat Dakota Bush in between. He did get that win in between. So, yeah, but I'm big on Joe Solecki here. I think Flash Gordon's going to make it a fight. Like, he better bring his fucking hard hat. He's better come to work.
Yeah, I'm seeing a decision. Definitely, I think Solecki decision all day.
Yeah. Solecki coming in at a -130.
Dude, but Gordon hasn't finished, man. So I wouldn't bet the house on any of this. But I like Solecki too. That was just right when I saw this fight. That's who I thought. It was like Solecki.
Yeah, -139 for Solecki, +112 on Jared Gordon.
Actually pretty good odds for Solecki.
Yeah.
But they both have pretty good records. Gordon doesn't lose that often, you know. But I think everything leans towards Solecki in this fight. I think, does Gordon normally fight at 55?
I believe so. But yeah, now that you're saying it, he does seem like a smaller 55er.
I'm pretty sure he fought at 45.
You got Danny Chavez, who fights at 45. You're correct. Yeah, his last fight was at 45. So that's interesting.
Going up a division against some bigger boys, you're already small. I don't like that.
And coming off, like, he got, like, some bigger fights in that division, lost, then won 2 fights, but against kind of.
Oh, no, he's been fighting at lightweight. Never mind. I'm looking back at all his fights. There's been a couple featherweights.
Okay, so he's kind of been up and down, but mainly lightweight. Okay.
But it doesn't change anything.
I do think that could be a factor in this fight where Joe Solecki, especially later in the fight, seems bigger and stronger. Like, because he's a big dude. He's built.
But they're both the same height, it says on this, at least. It says they're both 5'8".
Interesting.
But
Solecki just looks bigger.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe it.
Well, we'll see it in the cage.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Next fight. Alexander Hernandez, 12-4, taking on Mike Breeden, 10-3.
This wasn't the fight. He was supposed to fight someone else.
Hernandez?
Yeah. What the hell happened with that? Who was he supposed to fight?
He was supposed to fight
Santos, right?
Santos, Leandro Santos.
That was supposed to be a good fight. Yeah, I was excited for that. Damn it. Yeah. I don't know. Hernandez is probably going to watch this dude. Who is this guy?
Mike Breeden, he's making his UFC debut. He lost to Anthony Romero on decision, who didn't get signed on the Contender Series. So what does that tell you? And then he's won 2 fights in FAC. One by knee, one by decision.
Yeah, I'm betting Hernandez inside the distance pretty heavily on this one, I would say.
Hernandez is a -5. He's a 500 favorite, but let's see if we can get anything on the
maybe in the first round.
Hernandez in the first round is actually +180.
I like that. He's a big tank.
+200.
Big explosion, like muscly type of guy. He's gonna try to get in and out of there with this dude who's never heard of him. He's this one getting more with this guy.
And especially since he was booked for like a semi-big, not the biggest fight of all time, but Leandro Santos is definitely a name. This could definitely be someone he's going to probably try to take out quickly without really taking damage.
Yeah, he's got to take a bit on the O'Malley type of mindset. Like, I need to get a highlight KO for my resume real quick. So yeah, I'll probably put him in the earliness.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Next fight. Oh, Jesus. We got Misha Cirkunv versus Krzsztof Jotko. That's the best you're going to get. 15-6, taking on 22-5. I know you're a big Krzsztof Jotko fan. Go Jotko. Go.
Bro, I'm actually this one, I actually really think Cirkunov's going to win this fight.
Really? I was almost, and because I was a little split on this fight.
So dudes who will just knock him flat out. Like, hella power. Jotko, he'll whoop your ass over like 15 minutes. But he's not going to knock him out like that. And Cirkunov's going to wrestle fuck him. And it's just going to be, he needs a dub. Every time I feel like he gets knocked out, he comes back and beats somebody. And I just think that's going to happen again. And Jotko's the guy that kind of, I think he can do it.
Interesting. Yeah, I could kind of see that. Yeah. Jotko definitely feels like that, like, movie type Russian gangster who just, like, beats your ass in the alley. Like, you don't die, but, like, he just beats the piss out of you. He doesn't knock you out, Like, the main character is still, like, up, but he's fucking got his ass beat. But Cirkunov coming in at plus.
I got Cirkunov.
You're getting +130 on that, so I don't
like
hate
that.
Jotko -162. Yeah, it's if the first couple takedowns can land,
We'll know early. Yeah, we'll know early.
Yeah, because if he tries to stand and bang with Jotko, it could be a long night for him. But I do think Cirkunv could definitely be in it. But next fight, we got an interesting one. Nico Price, 14-5 out of the U.S., taking on Alex Olivera, 22-10-1 out of Brazil.
This is a weird fight.
Weird.
And
the
guess
weirdest
who,
of
guess
weird.
who is always on top when it gets weird?
Cowboy?
Nico Price. Whenever it gets weird, Nico Price is the winner. I don't know why. I don't know how. He's more weird. So every time it gets weird, he is the winner. And Alex Olivera also brings a weird fucking fight.
That's what I'm saying. I was like,
always win the weirdness.
That's true. If they let him fight with his cowboy hat on, I think I would pick Olivera.
I would pick him in every fight.
That's fair. But yeah, I can kind of see that where it's just going to be who the fuck knows. And I think Vegas is kind of thinking the same way with you, where Nico Price is minus 167, Olivera plus 135. So it's like kind of a pick 'em, but I think they're right with you where Nico's a slight favorite because he's slightly more weird.
Yeah, no, and that's what I think. Mm-hmm. And also what's weird about this fight is you would expect someone's getting finished, right?
Sort of, but not really.
No, exactly. That's why it's flipped, and I think it's going the distance. That's how weird it is.
Yeah. Interesting. Over 1.5 rounds, minus 162. I think that's a good bet in this fight. I think it's just because I think the whole first
2 rounds, because this is a weird fight that would, if it gets finished, it's going to be like the 3rd round.
Right. In some chaotic exchange where Nico Price is going to like spark him and get caught. Yeah, something chaotic.
Our logo is going to be what happens.
Literally. Jesus Christ. Next fight.
Oh, man.
Call him. Call Big Mouth.
Big Mouth. Let's go. Yeah. Holland versus Daukaus. Kyle Daukaus is the big brother just fought. I think Krzsztof.
Krzsztof
got a great win. But
I do give them credit. They should fight on like back-to-back weeks, so I have some fucking hope of figuring out which fucking Daukaus is fighting.
Yeah.
This is small Daukaus.
Well, one looks like the little brother, like obviously. And I don't know why you don't get it, but one is obviously the little brother. And that's the one who's fighting. He's fighting Kevin Holland. They're both some stand-up guys. They're both some good fellas. They're both gonna stand up and bang. I think Daukaus will do some work against in the clinch, against the cage. He likes to push people up in there and maybe get some takedowns off of that. But for the most part, this should be a standing affair, I think. And I think if it is, that's going to lean Holland. He's like he's 8 feet long, and he has really crisp hands. He has really good hands. So I think if he's able to let those go finally, we're going to be able to see a dub from him. And I think Daukaus is a tough dude. Maybe he'll go decision, but if it stands up, I definitely like Holland on this one.
I think it's a Holland TKO that's set up by a 2nd-round elbow. He's going to put those combos together, and then Daukaus is going to not like the range fighting. And then he's going to try to get in close, and one of those fucking Holland elbows.
Holland's hella funny, though. Do you think he goes for a takedown?
For sure. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt in my mind, 1,000%.
Like he thinks he's a Dagestani wrestler coming into this fight.
For sure. No, he's done 6 weeks in his camp. He is now a Dagestani wrestler. He will over under 2.5 takedowns for sure.
That's hilarious. But yeah, I got Holland. That's my boy. I'm gonna take him mostly every time. So
minus 167, you're getting right there.
Ooh, sweet spot. I love it. I'm taking it all day.
Yeah, those slight favorites. I do love that. And then let's do it. What we came for, the Brazilian banger, the main event, Thiago Santos, 21-6, taking on Johnny Walker, 18-5. What do you got?
This fight will not go past the first round. It can't.
Maybe the first round. Definitely not the second. I could see where, like...
I don't see him coming out slow. Like, he can try to come out slow, but eventually he's just going to be like, I'm Johnny Walker, let's go. Like, and then Santos, I feel like it's going to capitalize. Like, I feel like Walker will catch Santos and maybe have him, like, stumbling, and it's going to be a wild fucking thing. And Santos is going to let loose, clip him, and then take him out. And Santos is going to be like, I'm back. And then we're like, oh, shit. And, yeah, that's kind of what
Yeah, I'm pretty big in on Santos on this fight. Like, I think, to be perfectly honest, I think they're both very big, powerful Brazilians that are not champion technical fighters. You know, that's what it is. And both of them will flirt around it. Actually, I think he can be when he wants to be. That's the problem. Is his technical ability, I feel like, goes in and out. You know,
I feel like he shouldn't be as technical anymore. I think he's getting better at being technical, and that's what's taking away from his just like
savage power. And that's why I love him in this fight, because I think this is going to be
brings it out.
Just
has to.
It's just going to be two massive Brazilians saying, I'm going to throw a right and you're going to throw a right, and we're going to see who's going to fall down. And I'm personally going to pick the guy with the sledgehammer on his chest.
Yeah, I usually pick that guy.
Yeah, unless he's fighting the champ, I'm picking that guy.
He beat the champ.
He did beat the champ. Don't forget it. That was Jan's last loss, right?
I think so.
I think that was he sparked him, and then it was
like a.
And then Jan went on a run.
Put him down.
Yeah.
Wasn't
it that liver shot?
He said he's bringing back the kicks. He says knees are full.
That's what he needs to do. He needs to get more technical below the belt and less technical above the belt. Like, let the hands go wild and do your shit, but throw those fucking precision kicks to the knees and to the liver. I mean, yeah, now I'm actually thinking about that shot he hit Jan with, and Jesus, like, that's like internal bleeding type stuff. Like, you can't be doing that. So if he gets that going,
you might as well just have someone throw a baseball bat. They're just like right there.
Same thing. But it is scary, because if this is entirely Thiago's plan, it's going to give some opportunities for Johnny. Like, Johnny's going to have his shots for sure.
No, that's what I'm saying. Johnny Walker may put him on skates for a second, but I think at the end of the day, once the beast comes out, and if Santos isn't playing with his legs, he says they're back. I like him a lot in this fight. And I don't think Walker's there yet. I really don't. I think this is a big step up in competition anyways.
I did too. And I was actually surprised. I thought that Thiago Santos would be a much bigger favorite. Coming in at minus 167. That's sweet spot.
But I do understand. He's getting older. He's lost like how many fights in a row?
Don't care.
But it's been against what? John Jones, Rocket, Glover Teixeira.
Yeah, it's the top of the top. And I don't think Johnny Walker's the top of the top. That might be my parlay. The co-main event, minus 167, minus 167. You parlay it up. Let me see what that'll give us. Let me clear the bet slip real quick. Those two, plus 156. That's the if all goes right up to the co-main event, that's a fucking
what is
Thiago Santos hammer. Kevin Holland money line minus 167. Thiago Santos money line minus 167. You put them both together, plus 156. Cash in, hammer it like Thiago Santos' chest.
I love it.
That's all I got for y'all.
No, I ended on that, man. Just hammer. Bam.
Much love. We out.
Peace.